Thank you so much for joining me today. You've just come off a plane from Delhi.
Yes.
And how are you feeling?
I am feeling fine.
How do you do it?
Well, I separate myself from the body when I have to travel long distances.
You separate yourself from your body. Can you
Yes.
say how you do that? What does that mean? Brother Brij Mohan is a popular motivational speaker, writer, and broadcaster. He's known for presenting deep spiritual truths with wit and humor. He maintains his amiable and humble self while carrying out his responsibilities as Additional Secretary General of the Brahma Kumaris, a global spiritual organization with headquarters in Mount Abu, Rajasthan in India, and a presence in more than 140 countries spanning all 5 continents. Brij Mohanji has traveled extensively in all 5 continents, delivering lectures and conducting meditation retreats. He's a tireless promoter of human values and has organized numerous seminars on social and spiritual themes. I'm looking forward to having a conversation with this spiritual giant and see what we can glean of his wisdom to help us in our modern times. Thank you so much for joining me today. You've just come off a plane from Delhi.
Yes.
And how are you feeling?
I am feeling fine.
How do you do it?
Well, I separate myself from the body when I have to travel long distances.
You separate yourself from your body. Can you
Yes.
say how you do that? What does that mean?
Yes. You see, from the beginning, when I joined Brahma Kumaris, the first lesson that I learned was that I am different from my body. And body is my instrument or medium. So over the years I have learned to use that, and I can withdraw from the body whenever required and come in the body whenever needed.
Very interesting. So can you please explain your process for doing this so that a layperson may have a better idea? Because it sounds amazing and yet one wouldn't know how to do it. Would you recommend normal people do this for themselves as well? They learn it?
You see, in fact, all of us are doing all the time. How much time in the day we live in the body and how much time we live through our mind. You will find now physically we are here, we are concentrated on this interview. Otherwise, our thoughts will take us wherever we wish or wherever we are compelled to be. So we are actually present there only where our mind is. So that is normally happening. Only when you consciously do that, you can channelize it.
So please share your process. So you close your eyes, you sit there. Lead us through what you do.
Here we do not close our eyes because for how long can you close your eyes?
Yes.
If you have to do anything naturally,
Yes.
you have to be practicing that in the normal way. So even if you close your eyes, you cannot close the eyes of your mind. So therefore we practice it normally. Our eyes, ears, everything is functioning. But mentally we can withdraw and we can come back whenever required. Normally also, when you have to pay more attention to something, you are more attentive. Otherwise, you are half attentive sometimes. You are passive, you are not interested in anything. So you are only physically present. You are not interested. People are yawning also. So therefore, that is a normal thing, only we do it consciously.
And when you withdraw from the body, what is happening to the body? And why do you then end up feeling more rested thereafter?
The thing is, just as you sleep and you are dreaming, body is lying and you have withdrawn and you are whatever you are dreaming. Same thing here also. You see, you will find that actually it is the mind that is having all the experiences. Mind sometimes take the body also to wherever it wants to go. Supposing someone likes ice cream, at mid of night, he will think if he gets a strong urge, he will go to the ice cream parlor, drag the body there. That's the thing.
Yes. And so how much importance should we put on the body, and how much importance on the mind?
There is no hard and fast rule, depending upon. Whenever you require, in the Brahma Kumaris, we are taught that we should be in a position to take our mind to wherever we want, keep it there for as long as we want, and withdraw it whenever we want. That is the ideal situation. And now, if you have got likes and dislikes, so you get stuck up. So we learn not to be stuck up, because if you get stuck up, then at crucial moments also you will be stuck up in the body.
So then that leads me on to the question of the potential for healing ourselves. If you can withdraw from the body, how would you recommend somebody directs their attention to healing a particular aspect, some disease, some other problem? How would you recommend they can do that?
You see, both ways it works. If you withdraw your mind, then also you are healing. And if you consciously apply your mind, then also you are healing more. For instance, people when they sleep, lot of healing is done at that time. Supposing something is stuck up in your tooth at night, in the morning it won't be there. So the reason is that when the mind withdraws, then the body is free to function physically. And also, when you specially require to apply your mind to something, the thought is very powerful. If you concentrate it, then it will work wonders. Actually, it is happening all the time. Our whole body is a sort of a chemical laboratory. When I feel anger, for instance, everything will be gathered in the body to create anger, because I require to be angry. But as soon as the event is over, then I will withdraw to my normal. Similarly, when you are joyful, so all the hormones of the body will get tuned to whatever you want it to do, if you are conscious about it. Otherwise, things happen normally also, but then you cannot channelize the mind to your requirement.
Often our thoughts are contaminated, whether it's fear, whether it's preconditioning, whether it's a lack of belief that something is possible. So how do you bring your mind into a state where it becomes a superpower for being able to be at command and command the body?
You see, this thing, Brahma Kumaris are different and unique. All of us think that we can improve, we can channelize the mind, but the same mind which has brought us to a particular level, the mind itself cannot rise to a higher level, because it was at a higher level and for certain reasons it has come to a particular level. So you require outside help. So in the Brahma Kumaris, I have found the unique thing is that we draw Supreme Father's power. If we connect the soul with the Supreme Soul, and as is described in the Gita, that is the yoga. Because all of us know I should do this, I should not do this. But we are not able to do that. In other words, knowledge.
Yes.
Knowledge is knowing right and wrong. We all know right and wrong.
Yes.
And yet, we cannot do the right. We cannot withdraw from the wrong. That is the dilemma. So all people, they think they know what is right and wrong. But the classic thing is, I want to do this, I cannot. And I didn't want to this and it happened. So knowledge is not enough. There is something higher which is called wisdom. Saraswati was goddess of wisdom, not of knowledge. Wisdom is only one-sided. There are no two sides of the coin. You get into yourself good and bad of something and it's struggling inside. Sometimes the mind leans that way, sometimes it leans the other way. No. Wisdom means having only one-sided state of mind. That is to say, what I want, but I want mind to get from the world. So there are many things in the world, diverse, contradictory. So what is my aim? That only I look at for that angle only. Just as you wear green goggles, you will see green. Yes. So that is the practice we do.
Very interesting. So what you're talking about is the ability to discern from what is wisdom, because we, as you say, we know right and wrong. And yet we choose for ourselves sometimes, which creates a destiny, which creates a pathway, which doesn't bring happiness, doesn't take us higher, doesn't lift the vibration.
Not sometimes, all the time. If you will consciously see, we are independent, we are free to act, but it is not so. We are conditioned by the background that the mind has created, what we call in India sanskars.
Yes.
So we are limited by our sanskars. Supposing now we are conversing, having interview. Normally we will not leave it halfway and go out. So theoretically it is possible. You are free to stop it. I am also free. But we won't do it because of the certain conditions. So whenever the certain conditions arise according to the soul's quality,
Yes.
so that it will become active. Just the seed of the chili. If you sow it on a heap of rubbish or anywhere, it will only produce chili because the seed is that. And if you have a rose flower, you sow it on a heap of rubbish, it will create fragrant flower. So that is the thing.
And so would you say that's the purpose of life, in a sense, to have the sanskars transmute into something
Yes.
more useful and...
Exactly. The purpose of life is that my sanskar should be better than when I took the body, and day by day those should be better. And naturally, nature also helps you. Whichever way you go, the nature will cooperate with you. All the elements are there to produce a chili in the soil, in the air, everything, water. And the same elements are there to produce a sugar beet. What the seed requires, that will be helped.
is the condition.
Yes.
And so how do you catalyze if one is in a place in their life where, they are very satisfied, they've acquired some success, they've acquired some money, they've got enough, this, santosh with where they're at. How does one catalyze the process of transmuting the sanskars?
You see, one has to have a higher objective. All those things are only means to live. Money, this, that,
Yes.
all those things are only means. But what is the purpose of life? So the purpose of life is to improve my being. And people are having the pursuit to improve their belongings. That is the difference. Actually, it is the being which is experiences, which is acting, that is acts through the mind. The soul acts through the mind. The soul is the being. So that is the basic distinction which attracted me to Brahma Kumaris. As you said, I was in a job, chartered accountant, all that, in finance manager in corporate, whatever. But there I sensed that first of all, if you are attached to the body, it is short-lived. Everything will be programmed to the end of your body, and you are not sure about your span of life. Secondly, anyway, if you take the maximum of age, even then it will end. So the more possessions you collect, the more you will have fear that I am going to lose it. You cannot get rid of that fear. So first basic thing, that is Indian philosophy, that what Gita says, and what distinguishes Indian spirituality for all other things is eternity of my being. This is most important. I can lose anything, but I cannot lose my eternity. And if the seed is there, then no matter whatever grows around it, that can be reproduced. So that is the basic idea. Everything is contained in the soul. Through our actions, through our interactions, whatever, our own introspection. But the basic thing is, at our level, if we work, we understand, we will not be able to improve unless we get power from the Almighty. That is called yoga. Actually, the original concept of yoga is from Gita. All others are, now we have got many varieties of yoga, but they are not actually yoga. Because yoga is connection of the mind.
Yes.
And we are going about the physical postures. First of all, we think I am body, so everything we do bodily only. Of course, anything you do in this world will bring you the result.
Yes.
It is called karma kshetra. So whatever you sow, it will bring the result.
Yes.
But it will not bring that result which you could get through yoga. Yoga can, first of all, it means joining the two things.
Yeah.
I should have the yoga between the mind and the soul,
Yes.
then soul and the body. and then with my surroundings, and on top of it with Almighty.
Yes.
Because if I go yoga with Almighty, whole my attitude will change. If you take the world view, we all say that earlier times the world was paradise and all that. What was the difference between today and that? In nutshell, there you can imagine everything happened at the right time. Here things do not happen at the right time. Then at the right place. The time may be right, but the place will be wrong.
Yes.
Or in the right manner, way of doing. So that is what is called paradise. Even you can create for yourself paradise here if we keep these parameters. And today, over the period, anything can happen to anyone, anytime, anywhere. So it means that is the capacity we have lost. We have got all the means, all the technology, all the tools, all the advancement, but the one who has to do it is handicapped, is weak. That's the problem.
Wasn't that the purpose of Ashtanga Yoga, was that there were the 8 limbs of yoga, where asana was only the 3rd limb, because the idea was to take you into a healthy physical being, as well as be able to still the mind and so on, so that you can actually go further and experience a higher state.
We are starting from top downwards.
Yes.
Actually, you get into an asana naturally as per your state of mind. Supposing you are watching an interesting movie, you will never feel anything about the body, how your legs move, and you are focused on that.
Yeah.
And if you are bored, you will be shuffling your legs, feeling pain and all that. So the asana naturally, body is only medium. So the master is the soul.
Yes.
Here we make mistake. We try to build the building from top downward. Postures of the mind, set the mind. That is temporary ways concentration. For example, in bhakti, people generally complain that their mind doesn't get tuned, or their mind doesn't get concentrated. Normally, they sit with all full intention, whatever, but still their mind runs away. So what they have done, they have made Jyoti. Okay, so you have to have this Jyoti and move it in a particular way so that your mind is concentrated. But it is concentrated in the Jyoti, not in whatever you wanted, God or your thing. You have Mala. So now here also, you have to move from the one beat to the next. You are concentrated on that, not on your real aim. So these are artificial ways of concentrating. Supposing I forget, somebody tells me, you will forget your name, so keep on repeating Brij Mohan. So it is like that.
Yes.
So these are the methods because we have not got to the root of the thing.
But didn't Krishna say that the highest is Gyan Yoga, and then the one below, if you can't do Gyan, then you go further down, you do Karma, if you can't do Karma, then you do Bhakti.
You tell me, if Lord has to tell the whole crowd, will the Lord tell the easiest and the simplest method, or the 4 methods, that here is the most difficult method and here is the second best, and you are to choose between all. So what will a person choose? Easiest. So actually, these are the various dimensions of yoga. It means for yoga, you require some Gyan. And Gyan means that you are a soul, not the body. You have to have yoga of the soul. Here, what we have done, the Supreme Being is also soul. Supreme Soul, we call it. Paramatma. And instead of making myself also souls and connecting with the Supreme Soul, you cannot fit a pistol into a cannons, like that. So similarly, in the first chapter of the Gita is, first you are a soul, you are a soul. Repeatedly it is stressed. But here we have made God also body. After all, say God came in a particular body. There is a lot of confusion about that also. Krishna, Rama, and then what? What? Body is not God. This body is not Brij Mohan. Brij Mohan, the soul will be there before and now and hereafter also. So the God also, when descends, whom we are remembering, the body or the God? So here is the difference. So in Bhakti, we have made God also like human, so that it is easier for body to body connection. It is not actually yoga.
Can you please share some of your experiences, some of your highest experiences when you have, as you have in your life experience when you are in meditation, your connection with Paramatma? Can you share for people, for us, how does that feel? How does that exist for you in your mind?
You see, normally all of us have a limitation. We know the goal, but as you said, there will be certain detractions, certain things of the mind. So I want my mind to instantly reach, for instance, Almighty. It can, because the speed of the mind is instant. You will find your mind reaching anywhere instantly. Think and you are there. Okay. There is a saying also, think of and you are there. Huh? Now it doesn't happen because somebody is sent from here to go to a grocery shop and buy something. That person is a drunkard or something. He wanders into some other place. So same thing in the mind also.
He loses his way.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why the mind has so many likes, dislikes, retractions, own evaluations, and therefore that is the sanskara. So they come into play. And here also there is something very interesting. We are proud of our intellect. After all, there is intellect, there is judgment power.
That's right.
I know I may have three options, but I know what is in my interest. But if you go deep, you will find intellect also gets deteriorated to the extent the soul and the mind, just as the whole body becomes old. I cannot say my nose is younger than my body. Similarly, intellect cannot be also pure than the rest of the thing, mind, soul, and all that. So intellect also gives way. It functions, but it functions to the next downward step. For instance, I have never stolen. First time I have a chance to something to steal, I will get caught by the police rather than try to kill someone and all that because I have never stolen. Supposing situation arises once that I just injure someone and run away, then I will get that sanskar of injuring. So I will not feel now that injuring is bad because earlier I used to think because I am become accustomed to that. People become robbers.
Because you can get away with it, so you think it's
Yes,
acceptable.
yeah. So when people even becomes a robber, still his intellect is functioning. Supposing there is a crowd and his fellows are going to shoot, he will say, no, save my uncle. But only to the extent of that. And there are people who kill their uncles also. So step by step, the intellect gives way. I do not know to what extent my intellect has given way. The same way my eyes may have some weakness, but I do not. I think I can see, I can change my angle. But if you go to an optician, he will tell you how much fields you have lost. So it is like that.
Yes.
Intellect only functions when you are in doubt.
I see.
You see, we think intellectuals are best people in the world. No. Intellect only functions when you are in doubt. And it creates doubt.
And intellect and doubt and fear, these are all elements of the ego.
No,
Distinguish that as separately from the soul.
ego can arise from many things. Okay. Ego itself can be of money, position, beauty, age. Any of your specialties can create ego. So ego is a word, it can arise out of anything. Even a poor person who has nothing has ego. He knows that he can insult a superior and get something. The superior has the weakness to keep his honor. That's why. So ego is function. To say I have no ego is also ego.
Yes.
It's like that,
Yes. Is it possible for a human being to not have ego?
Well, that is the last stage. Because without ego, you cannot get the body.
You can't function in the world.
You get the body.
Right.
But in the beginning, just as a glass without number is fashionable only, but it has no significance. But once you wear it, so you are going to get a number sooner or later because you have got the instrument.
Yes.
Similarly, ego, harmless in the beginning. Our deities also had bodies,
Yes.
but they are worshipped. They also had bodies, but they did not have. Ego comes when you become body conscious. And ego can be removed when you become soul conscious. The more and more, I cannot be all the time soul conscious. So whenever I am soul conscious, I will not have ego. And that is why this community system, why the Brahma Kumaris are having a community system. After all, you can remember God in your home. But why all this international? Because it reduces your ego. Now I am in the center. I have a good room, but it is not my room. But if I had my own room, I will say it is my room. If there is an electric post just outside your house, the municipality pays for the bulb. It is inside your house, you pay for the bulb. So that is the difference. So the more a person is community conscious, nation conscious, humanity conscious, and universal, then his ego gets reduced. God has no ego because God belongs to all. That is the system.
So become soul conscious as opposed to body conscious to reduce ego. That the moment you start to connect with Paramatma, the moment you actually accept and behave as a being that is a soul first, and then the human, then you start to operate from a consciousness that reduces.
But you have to remain constantly connected. As soon as you lose the connection, again you will come in limitation.
Yes.
People are all over the world are going to make you limited. They will say you are Indian, you are so and so.
They will identify you with something.
Yes.
And therefore the ego comes in. And when we talk about dealing with relationships in life, it's one of the biggest challenges as a human being that we have, living in our family systems, living in our work systems and so on, where there is likely to be conflict. People may misunderstand you. People have the perception they have, as you mentioned earlier, if they're wearing green goggles, the green sunglasses, they will always see green through those glasses. So how should we deal with the conflicts in life, especially when somebody hurts our feelings?
Basically, if one has a to-get approach, there will be conflicts. And if you have a to-give approach, there will be no conflicts. At least you will be free from conflicts. So this to-give approach is very important. And we lose sight of it. We say, in theory we say, give respect to get respect, give love to, but we don't apply it throughout. So the Brahma Kumaris have devised this thing. Everything in the universe is giving. This is a fundamental thing we should understand. Everything in the universe is giving. For instance, this chair we are sitting on, what is it doing? It is giving comfort to sit. Okay? This is giving light, not to itself, but to others. This is also not giving comfort but to others. So you will find everything. The sun is giving light and heat, not to itself, to others. So this is called Devata approach. So our ancestors were called Devi Devata not for no reason. They had this understanding, you give and in the process you are sure to get. But you have to give. The approach has to be to give. So this is we adopt in the Brahma Kumaris. So we feel very rich, we feel fear very less and all that. Because when you give, your karma gets plus. So for plus you are going to get the return. So if we have to give approach, then who will dislike you? If you are going to give only something, the person may accept or not accept, at least you are happy. Yeah. And if that person accepts all the good, some charity is done. So like that. People think that they separate themselves from the universe, from the world, from the elements, from the society, thinking that I have to be clever somehow to get something. And that cleverness means to get approach. And to get means your whole thing changes. Because everybody is suspicious that this person has some hidden agenda, he wants to get something. That is why I, as a chartered accountant, became Brahma Kumar. In accountancy, they teach us what comes is gain, what goes out is loss. This is the fundamental of chartered accountancy. Here I learned, no, what you give will give you happiness, and what you get will be burden. You see, very common. Supposing you have to give some money
Yes.
to someone, your hand will be like this. And supposing you have to get the money, your hand will be like this. So this applies the whole thing. So to have self-respect, self-respect does not mean to have a big mansion, to have a big thing. No, it means to have a give approach.
Self-respect means to have a give approach.
To give approach.
Interesting. Very amazing.
In relationships, you will never feel any disharmony because you are a giver only.
Yes.
And if someone accepts, it's okay. Otherwise, you are happy in your home. A tree produces, हिंदी में कहते हैं ना कि पेड़ अपना फल खुद नहीं खाते, मशहूर है.
This is true.
अच्छा, नदी अपना जल स्वयं नहीं पीती, पर हमने उससे कुछ सीखा नहीं. Here it is only that whatever I produce is for others, and I am definitely going to get much more if I serve. You know, people think
Nishkam karma.
People not Nishkam.
No.
There is a separate something. Only God can do Nishkam karma.
Oh.
We says we know no human being can do Nishkam karma. Yes, you can try it. Yes.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. But the idea of apeksha, expectation, what you're saying is do without expecting. And there's a masonry saying, do good for good.
See, people say that desires and expectations are the cause of suffering. Desires are from within me and expectations are from others. So when I have unlimited desires and they are insatiable, after all you get tired running after your desires, your body gets exhausted, all the bodily sense organs have limitations. How much can you see? How much can, supposing music is good for you, but if you go on listening to music for 24 hours, you will say, stop, I feel more peaceful. So this is, sense organs are limited. And expectations is from others. Parents expect that they brought up the children, now in old age they will see. Expectation may not be fulfilled for various reasons. But if I have the approach, जिसको कहते हैं नेकी कर दरिया में डाल, कहा जाता है, do good and put it in the ocean, a river, so that you don't expect. It will come to, the result will come to you from other sources, not from the same person. What we feel is, I have lost a watch, a thief has stolen it, he has sold it out. I cannot get that watch out from the thief. So therefore this is karma philosophy in depth. So here is the only thing, the universal approach you have. You are connected with the universe. All the elements will help you. Our ancestors never died premature. जितने देवी देवता थे, full lifespan था, granted. Today also in India, if someone dies of old age, आप उसकी अर्थी जलाते नहीं, उसका विमान सजाते हैं, गुब्बारे लगाते हैं, पतासे बांटते हैं. It's only a memorial to something that was very normal for all of us. No disease. No, why should be? Because it is our own creation. By slowly deviating, and day by day we are following the same path. Today, everybody wants to get. Then who is the giver?
Yes, if everybody gets, then who gives? Yes.
I go to a cloth shop, he cheats me. He goes to a watch shop, he cheats him.
Yeah.
So it's a vicious circle.
Yes.
Nobody is happy.
And do we bring these sanskars from previous incarnations, previous existences, which make it a little bit more unconscious in our behavior?
All of us bring sanskars, but to change the sanskars requires godly knowledge,
grace,
and meditation.
Yes.
Because with my own power, as of today, I cannot change. Even if I know I should change, I cannot. Because to go up means some effort. To come down requires no effort. You can spend all your money by the evening, but to earn it means something.
Yes.
So when you go up, so you have to make effort.
And would you say that the effort, perhaps the biggest effort one makes, is the effort of getting authentic about wishing to acquire that state, wishing to move into a higher state?
Of experience, we have learned the best effort of start is to start doing for others what you want for yourself.
Really?
If I want to give up anger, if I think I will give up, it will not happen. If I tell others, please don't be angry, I will become anger-free.
So be the change you wish to see in the world, as Gandhiji said. That's the highest effort that one can make.
But that also requires Almighty.
Yes. And that grace, at some point, we need to be willing to sacrifice our point of view, our rightness?
Actually, we sacrifice nothing but bad things, wrong things, the things which are troubling us. So once you understand you are getting rid of something or not, you will not ever feel sacrifice. I have never felt I have sacrificed anything.
No.
I have only gained. Because if you give up something bad, then only if you want a new dress, you have to give up the old dress. It is not a sacrifice.
Yes, it is not. And indeed, people may consider that it is because they're so attached to a point of view, or because the feeling that this is the right thing.
They do not want to first of all leave the old dress, or if you give new, they want to retain both and wear the old one. That's the problem.
And not realizing that there's something much better on,
Yes.
if you were to let go. What's the fastest way of letting something go?
Any person, once that person gets used to something, he thinks that is the norm for him. And the one who doesn't have that weakness will feel the change. You know, a smoker will think, without smoking, I cannot think, I cannot concentrate, whole my system won't work. But a non-smoker, it is nothing. He thinks that is a acquired habit, like that. We don't let go. We say acquire good things. Other things will be gone naturally.
There are some, people have had very difficult experiences in their lives from childhood. For example, they've been molested by someone, they've been, beaten, or they've been treated in the most horrific ways. I think when people have those types of experiences, the sanskars, they tend to linger and, linger on and make change a destiny in their future if they don't know how to shift it.
Things are happening accidentally, occasionally, for no reason. If we go behind everything, all people are not molested. And some people, when people try to molest them, they even lose their life, they will not get molested.
Yes.
There are others, they will succumb. And it changes from person to person.
Yes.
So you have to see. First of all, Brahma Kumaris believe everything is right. Whatever is happening, there is nothing wrong happening. There is no wrong being done to anyone. That is the fundamental. I feel this building fell and small children died, ladies died, and I write a news report that, oh, so many children, as if those ladies and children deserved some more mercy than another person who died. So we create something, a feeling like that. But if you go deep into this, the karma philosophy work, right is right, wrong is also right. Because every saint has a past, every sinner has a future. A point comes in between when becomes saint to sinner and sinner to saint.
So it comes down to really elevating consciousness so that you make the right choices. You speak the right words then. You speak words that elevate you.
Basic thing is from the worldly normal life, which people think is the aim and object of the life. Everything, what everyone is doing to get better. If you have a bicycle, you want a motorbike, you have a motorbike, you want a small car, and your life finishes. So these are only tools. Actually, what one is getting out of those is satisfaction, pleasure, happiness, thinking what is the basic value of this particular thing. Now, supposing I am a chartered accountant of 1956. 1956. I am a law graduate of 1955. The Institute of Chartered Accountant was founded in 1 year before only. Now, supposing I was there, I would have become CEO or something and retired. Finish. They took me in employment not for doing any mercy to me, because at my father's expense I got some qualification, and they went on squeezing me, doing that, giving me a favor, because they will keep me only up to a particular age. After that they will have another and throw me out. I would have retired or resigned. Now I am 90 years. I am quite active, free, working all the 24 hours. So what is the real independence? That or this? You see? This is the thing. Value shifting.
Yes. Now, when we talk about karma, I've been looking at, where does karma actually begin? Where does my karma or your karma, anybody's karma, begin? Are we talking about when they actually take the action? Are we talking about when they intend something? Are we talking about even before that, when they just have the mere fleeting thought of something? Where does the karma actually take root?
First of all, just as a seed cannot produce the product, only a seed has to be sown, sprout into a plant, and then only the fruit comes. Soul by itself cannot perform karma. It has to take a body. Okay? So when I and you first took our body, it is not that we have taken body right from the beginning. Population is growing, which shows that the souls have been descending. And just as in the tree, the leaves are growing. All the leaves do not grow in the beginning. So whenever first I came on earth, took the body, I started doing karma. And naturally, because the soul is naturally powerful, my karmas in the beginning, they do not create a negative account or account of suffering. So, by and large, it's a detail. Every soul who comes to this world, for the 1/4 time, its karma account is not made, it only enjoys. Any soul. And then second 1/4 second one also slight little sort of shade of influence, but still it is quite powerful. It is and after half the time, as everything in the world becomes second hand, then some trouble starts. Why so? Because of interaction with unequals. You understand?
Oh.
Yes, because we are not same. So when you start acting with unequals, so influence will come on you. And always influence of bad will come on the good, of good will not come on the bad. अब दूध से दही बना सकते हैं, दही से दूध नहीं बना.
Well, very interesting.
So you see, therefore it happens. And then it has the last part of the track of the soul is of suffering. And the tops of the mounts are different, but the bottom is the same for all. What I mean to say is, there may be souls, elevated souls like Devtas, they will be found only in Bharat. But down when we come to...
True?
When
only
we,
in Bharat?
Only, yes. When we come, I can explain further. But when you come to Kaljuga, all our ground level is the same, all are suffering. Only at that point of time, Supreme Soul intervenes.
So we absolutely need the Kali
Gita is not a perennial or a permanent knowledge for everyone, as people think. They think, oh, Gita is panacea, anybody. No, it is relates to a particular time.
Which is?
Which is when the utmost degradation. Because Gita says, and then God brings it to top, and again, Gita is not required.
Because you've transcended, you've transmuted into
all,
your essence.
Yeah, all the souls, not one.
Right.
Those even who do not read Gita are not connected, because the seed is responsible for the whole tree.
But then what is, so then, somebody who is a serial killer can go on a spree again and again and do his nasty, work. He can kill many people. And eventually, without doing the work to elevate his soul, he will also be, or does he also have to do his soul work?
We are accusing the serial killer too much. Today, most of the people are serial killers.
Really?
If you go deep and you find.
Really?
One thing is to kill, and other thing is to kill slowly. You are making people suffer while they are alive.
Yes, yes.
Killing is one-time suffering, but you see extracting everything from human is happening today, right today. And all the resources of the world are going towards destruction because we have become very wise. Too much of wisdom leads to destruction.
Interesting. So we're all puppy at the end of the day.
Yes. But why? That is why we pray.
Yes.
A person who is not puppy will not pray. Oh God, have mercy on me. And do me this, do me that.
Yes, that's true. So you were saying about Bharat, you were saying about India, that there are very special souls right now, or the one has to
Not
be.
right now. They were once.
There were once.
But the souls are the same, but now their actions are different. Our ancestors, or say we ourselves in our those births, were elevated souls. Our names are after them,
Yes.
but our actions are not like them.
Right.
There is no one in the world whose body and soul are both worshipped.
And why is Bharat Bhumi, why is India as a land, an ancestor, a very ancient land, does it have some specialness?
Because the roots of the tree have to be somewhere at least. And the seed has to give to the roots all that the seed contains.
Right.
And those roots are in India because the seed descends in India. So God descended in India only and gave whatever wisdom he had to the roots, and the roots spread it throughout. So each one is connected. Who were the parents of Christ of the earlier? They were earlier to him, wasn't it? If you go backwards, all will be connected with Adam or Brahma. So it's a link. There is no delinking anything.
Yes. Everything is connected.
Yes.
And beings are connected. We just don't get to see that with our consciousness.
So this Brahma Kumaris is entirely different. People don't understand, but can you imagine in present times an organization which can create real unity in diversity? I mean, they are not related to each other, but you will find anywhere, any BK of whatever status, whatever age, whatever, living like, lovefully. Why? What is behind it? You will never find anywhere in the world. And then they don't seek money, they don't get donations, they don't believe in worldly things and Almighty's power. All the other life forms, they believe in Almighty's power. The birds don't seek any alms or any aid from anybody or from United Nations or any. So we are the superior most of the species. Why should we? We should be givers. So Brahma Kumaris are purely givers.
And yet people do in the world, we individuals, we everyday person does need to make a living. They do need to earn money. Yes.
You see, this is today we are thinking as if making a living is the greatest problem and thing in the world. Not at all. What is is there anything in the world which has been priced by nature? Has nature priced the fruits, the water, air, whatever? No. We have put the prices. We want to sell water in a bottle. So it is we who have made ourselves slaves to such an extent that we have to live to earn for living only. No. Paradise, think of paradise. Do you think in paradise anybody was going for a job or doing a business? No.
So what is your vision for the planet? What is your vision? What's your highest vision for us?
It is not my vision. You see, we don't have any individual vision. We have Almighty's vision, and Almighty says now extreme has been reached in cruelty. Cruelty is in 5 forms. In India, it is well known. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mohankar. All these are violence. What is the definition of violence? Either of these or a combination of these. If you go to any court, you will find all the litigation arising out of these.
Yes.
Ya Kam, ya Krodh, ya combination.
Yes.
So we think anger is my power, ego is my power, it is my personality. So we have become like devilish in our nature, and we have to become divine in our nature.
Right.
There are positive powers also. If you live by positive powers, you don't require these things. And extreme is reached, then one realizes. Now the war is going on, and you can understand where it will head. It is not an ordinary war, and it is the same as described in Mahabharata.
Really?
Exactly, huh? And after that, golden era will come. And God is preparing souls for that era in advance. Just as a farmer creates a nursery for the next coming crop. The present was ripened and has to be cut. There is no other alternative. So we are very clear about it. And we are a part, we want to be a part of that system so that we can also contribute. Our God is incorporeal. Humans have brought the world down. Humans have to take it up, but there should be some humans who should do that. So it's a whole thing, aisa hai.
So I'm very curious to understand. First of all, let's talk about meditation because I'm very curious about. I mean, you mentioned it some things earlier when we talked. There are all these different systems. There's Kriya Yoga, there's transcendental meditation, and so on. How does the Brahma Kumari meditation itself differ from the other systems?
Well, we don't talk of other systems, but it is the same meditation as mentioned in the Gita. I am soul. Soul is life. Soul is sentient. It is the soul which has to meditate. It is not any limbs of the body, anything at all. Now, transcending occasionally is not meditation. Meditation is a way of life. Just as we say bhogi life, so there is yogi life.
Yogi life.
It has to be a lifestyle. A meditator will sleep, bathe, eat, everything. He will be a yogi. Now, yogi also today, people think any person wearing saffron is a yogi. But there are sannyasis who renounce their earth and home. But they are also called yogis today by people. Basically, I am soul. First of all, I have to realize I am soul. Why I need to meditate is I have become weak. And the only way to empower the soul spiritually is meditation. Other things this how to empower. You can empower women by education, by people with money, and so on. And his body with injections and all that. But this soul's empowerment is not possible at all without connecting with Almighty. Just as a discharged mobile phone has to be recharged again and again. But our batteries are charged only once by the Almighty before sending us here, and they last throughout till all the batteries get discharged. You understand?
Yes, very
So
interesting.
we have to charge it, and it's a spiritual process. Your feelings will be depending upon where your mind is and with whom the mind is connected.
Yes.
Supposing you are talking to a friend on phone, your feelings will be different, emotions will be, oh friend, how are you? Different. Supposing you are talking to a debtor, you will say, oh, you have not paid me, I have given you 10 reminder, and so on. It changes. Similarly, connecting with Almighty will give you feelings of what? Spiritual power. What are the properties or qualities of Almighty? Love. Ocean of love. Okay. This love is also a very funny word. Today, all people say fall in love. Although love is a very, very elevated emotion.
So how to fall into an elevation?
Why not rise in love?
Rise in love, yes.
So nobody is rising in love. They are all falling in love.
Yes.
What is the reason? What is the reason? The soul rises, the body falls because it is made of elements. Gravity pulls everything down. So you are in the cage of this gravity.
Yes.
So anything connected with the body you will fall. And if you are free from the cage, you can rise.
You can rise
So
and
you
fly.
can only rise in love of God. That is called yoga.
That is what that is. Very interesting.
Because God is highest of the high.
Yes.
Supreme.
Yes.
And all the souls are, when they become light, everything can become light, goes up.
It falls away.
Rest of thing is
Yes.
only the rocket which carries the payload. Okay,
Yeah,
we
yes,
are the
yes.
soul.
Yes.
So we have to slowly, not that it is so easy, because each of us have built the sanskars over all those years we have been here, of being here, being attached to the body. We have got accounts, karmic accounts. So it is easily said you go up, you cannot. So you have to settle those accounts.
Yes.
And Gita says that if you attach your mind with me, I assure you I will absolve you of all your accounts of past action.
Yes.
No other type of yoga is going to do. This is the thing.
Yes.
So the original yoga of Gita, only God teaches again himself only. It is not in the book. It is written in the Gita.
Come from direct source.
It is written in the Gita. I taught this yoga long back. Then slowly over the period it is gone into oblivion. And I come again to teach you.
To remind you.
So now is the time God is teaching. And these Brahma Kumaris are looking ordinary, but they are practicing.
They're super women.
Yeah, and they are, yes.
Superman.
That is the thing. So all the praise to them. And lastly, woman. You are a woman, fortunately. India is called motherland.
Yes.
Gita is called Gita Mata. Ganga is called Ganga Mata. In India, cow is also Gau Mata. Without a woman, you cannot become father. Christians have fathers. But how I can become a father unless there is a mother? So for Jesus, they have shown Virgin Mary. Okay. So if you want anything from God, you have to have a mother. And it is all by adoption. Because here, even anywhere else in the world, also a mother is also adopted, always, from the other family, adopted.
Yes.
So this adoption, God, only in the first page of Gita, it is written, Tumhe matascha pita tumhe. So God creates a family life. It doesn't create a life of recluses or sannyasis and others or spiritualists who are only doing spiritual. No. All this spirituality is meant for action, for life, for karma. So the Brahma Kumaris say the elevated karma was performed by our devatas who are enshrined in the temples. And we are their descendants. We even don't call ourselves Devta, we call Hindu. We say Hinduo ke Devta. But what is the religion of Devta? We will not say, neither call them Hindu nor call ourselves Devta. What a dilemma.
And how do you solve that paradox?
Yes. So therefore, because we cannot, our actions are not such. Our thoughts are not set to be called Devta. I can name myself as Sita Devi. And to add fun to it, there are males who called Sita Ram.
Yes.
Sita was a female, Ram was a male. How can you one person become Sita Ram? You have Radhe Shyam also, because they don't understand the significance of even their name. You see? You will have a Trilokinath in a rented flat. He will call Trilokinath. And one Amarnath will be, his body will be carried, he is dead. Amarnath
He
is
was
dead.
not Amar. He did not remain Amar. Brij Mohan ji, I would love for you, I have one very burning question, and then following that I have something that I wish to ask you to do. The question is with regards to being a clear receptor for inner voice, for the Paramatma ki pukar, the voice of the higher self. What could you tell us with regards to purifying ourselves, our minds or whatever, in order that we become a really clear receptor?
It's another wrongful notion, very basic wrong notion. Do you give dirty clothes to the washerman or the clean clothes? Does a patient go to a doctor or a healthy man? Now, do the souls who are in bad shape require God, or a clean soul requires God? So it's a great misconception to think I should first become pure and then I will meet God. It is like I should first become cured of all my diseases, then I should go to the doctor. What a big contradiction it is.
Yes.
So only it is the other way around.
The more in trouble you are, the more
God
you
will
need
purify
to ask.
you.
Yes.
That is the difference.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I understand. Thank you so much. Now, I have a request. Would you be willing to guide me through a short meditation?
Well, meditations require so many components, but God helps as a gambler's, what you call, luck. Huh? So, you can sit thinking yourself to be the soul. Soul resides here. जहाँ हम बिंदी लगाते हैं, इस point of light. So I am a soul point of light. Forget your body. And I, oh God, you are also light. So I want to connect with you. Finish.
Should I close my eyes for a moment?
No,
No.
I
keep
have
them-
told you,
Yes,
never, no.
never close
No,
eyes.
don't start with the wrong practice because you won't be able to do it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I have tears in my eyes. It was so. You gave me a transmission. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nothing new. हम लोग कह देते हैं nothing new, but actually it is nothing.
So, Brij Mohanji just told me that I've asked the same questions 5,000 years ago, and I'm asking the same questions again.
At the same time, in the same dress, at the same place. Exactly.
Wow.
Gemini was standing like this only. Yeah. You know Gemini when?
Don't you have a goose?
I'm- He looked at me when he walked in, and I knew he recognized me. And so
Yes.
why do we ask the same questions? Is that because we did not
Because,
evolve? We didn't do our work, or because?
Oh, because we have so many options, but we exercise only one, and what we exercise gets recorded. Next time again, you may have so many options, but you will only pin down to this and ask me same questions, and I will also give same answers.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
So I'm not clear. Is that a good thing or no?
it's a very good thing because it keeps you alert. That normally we think I have made this mistake only once, but it is not that. If I make it now, I will be making it every 5,000 years.
Wow.
So it has a long effect.
Yes.
So it keeps you on toes.
Yes.
That's the idea. It is not for nothing. There is a lot and lot of spirituality around, but no spirituality. Lot of religions, but no religion. Lot of gurus and satgurus, but not that satguru. Do I look like a guru? We are not. Guru is only he. I will be an imposter if I call myself a guru.
Yeah.
One apple cannot produce another apple. How so nice they may. Only the apple seed can produce apples. So creation is creation. It may be the best creation, but creation cannot help creation. A brother won't give money to brother. He can give a loan, interest-free loan only. So I am a brother. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Om Shanti.